Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Ivan here, and this is a update to one of my favorite decks of all time. I probably said this in the last video that I did of this deck, but this is one of the first decks that I built that I started topping locals with more consistently, and it was probably like one of my favorite decks to play, just because not just because I was winning at the time, but because it's just a really cool deck. The monsters are kind of like goofy looking, and I don't know. I just always like this deck, and I always try to every once in a while just try to pick it back up again and see if I can make it work. The deck is Geargia Karakuri. This version is a little bit different than the last one that I built because I decided to cut out a lot of I guess trim the fat, I guess is the term you would use. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the profile, and yeah. First of all, you're gonna be playing 3 Geargia armor. Geargia armor, it's like your searcher of the deck. Whenever he's flipped face up, you get to search for any Geargia monster. He's got a big booty with 1900 defense. This card used to be like so good back in the day when the game was a lot slower. Now there's like just so many cards that like negate his effect, and like they can just get rid of him like face down, so you won't get that effect. So it's not as great as it used to be, but it's still a good card. Geargia, 3 Geargia Accelerator. This one's probably like the most important one now, because it's like your free special summon if you control another Geargia monster, and it just lets you make Geargia Gan. It makes you do your whole combo pretty much revolves around this card. Then 3 Geargia Arsenal. This is a card that I'm finding out is a lot more important than I realized before. This card's just really good. It has a lot of cool plays you can do with it. Basically, it's a Lone Fire Blossom for Geargias. So you tribute it, and then you can summon any Geargia from your deck in defense position. So it's just it's also like a searcher, I guess you could say too, but it's just a really good card. Then for the smaller Gearganos, I'm playing 2 of the MK2. He's probably the best one, because he's just so versatile. Like, it's cool to summon him off Geargia gear. Or if you normal summon him, you can special summon a Geargia monster from your hand or from your graveyard. So you can just like get another monster on the field with another card in your deck that you play. You can make like a little combo going. Then 1 Geargano. Still think this card's decent. It's not that great. Before you would only play it because it was just another name, but now like, you can tribute it to summon any Geargano or Geargia monster from your graveyard. So you can like fix your levels. It's pretty much what it's for. And then the Geargano Mark III. This one, whenever it's special summoned by the effect of a Geargia card, you can special summon a Geargia monster either from your hand or from your graveyard. But then for the rest of the turn, you can only special summon, I think, machine monsters, I think it is. So that you need to do this like on your opponent's turn to really get its effect off. So that's why it's only played at 1. That's why it's not so great. That's it for the Geargia monsters. Then for like your little other engine, the Karakuri engine, you play 2 Watchdog and 1 Nispachi. This one's probably like the better one because it's level 4. It's also machine. They're both tuners. This one's really important for the combo. You never want to draw this guy because you want to make sure that he's in your deck. So when you summon him off your Bure or off your Burrito, you have your Geargia armor face down. You summon him. He can change the battle position of any monster whenever he's summoned. You flip it back face up, and then you get to search. So it's just like another extender. Then probably like the best card in the deck, G-Nex Ally Birdman. It's just probably the best card in the deck because it just does so much. It's able to, like, if you have like these 3 cards in your hand or any way to get to them, it's just really, really good. Because you summon your Geargia armor, summon your accelerator, use Birdman's effect to get your accelerator back to your hand. Then you can special summon your Birdman, then you can special summon your accelerator again because you still control a Geargia armor monster, and this is not once a turn. You flip this guy face down, you make Bure, then you get this guy. It just, the whole combo goes from there, and Birdman just really enables that. Then for other cards that help out the deck, just because they're machines and they're level 4, is Gold Gadget and Silver Gadget. These cards I just really like these cards a lot. Like from playing ABC for such a long time, these cards just help out so much. Just being able to make, you know, your extenders. And yeah, then for hand traps, I'm playing 3 Ash Blossom because it's probably like the most generic hand trap that's almost good against every deck right now. And then I'm playing 2 Nibiru because a lot of times if you're going second, you can just lose the game just because this deck cannot play through negations. It cannot play through a lot of stuff. So you want to make sure that your plays go off. And this is probably like the best card that's going to help you the most. Even though a lot of the times, especially now, like a lot of decks can put up some sort of negate. Or they can just get rid of your Nibiru. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, I'm playing 2 Called by the Grave. I decided not to play the 3rd because it was just getting too cloggy, and the card's really good. You really need it to go off because Ash Blossom really hurts your deck a lot. Then 2 Cosmic Cyclone, back row, and against the Eldritch deck, you can just banish their traps so they don't get the monster effects at the end of the turn, or the traps effects. Then 1 Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's, I think, just really good. Then for the traps, 3 Geargia gear. If this card was a spell, man, this deck would be so good. But since it's a trap, it's a lot slower. You have to set it. You have to wait a turn. Basically, the whole point, I decided to slow the deck down, make it more of a stunish build, and then just build towards your OTK and just win the games like that. That's how this deck used to do it back in the day. But back in the day, if you had like 1 Solemn Judgment or 1 Warning or something like that, you can just win the game like that, because back then decks could only play through like 1 or 2 negations, not like now where decks have like 5 or 6 negations. But Geargia gear is still a really good card. Lets you summon 2 Geargiano monsters from your deck. And yeah, then I'm also playing 3 Judgment and 3 Strike. I think they're just like the best generic thing. I didn't want to play any Floodgates because I didn't want to like hurt my deck by making it less consistent. So I decided to play stuff that will actually help. Then for the extra deck, 1 Geargia X. He's really important, especially in this build, because he lets you search for pretty much any monster in your deck, and then you actually get to use his other effect that whenever he leaves the field, you can summon a Geargia or Geargiano monster from your graveyard. So that's pretty cool. Exciton Knight, because you need it to get rid of big boards sometimes. Like Gusto Emerald, so you can shuffle back your Geargianos to make your Geargia gear the 2nd or the 3rd one live, which does happen because this deck wins by grinding a lot of the times, not by OTKing. Tornado Dragon, just a really good rank 4. Abyss Dweller, just wins a certain matchup. Draco Sack, at the end of the combo, you end up with like 2 berets, and sometimes you'll have like that extra tuner. So you can use this guy to make another synchro monster, or you could link it off with a token, stuff like that. Just really versatile card, really good. People know how broken tokens are. Dawn Dragster, just a good level 7 monster that actually gives you a negate in this deck, a little bit of protection, and it also does piercing. So like, if for some reason they decide to leave like a link token out, or they decide to leave a Mecha Phantom Beast token out, and you can just run them over and do piercing damage, which randomly comes up. 2 Karakuri Bure, and then 2 Burrito. These cards are like so good. Basically summon another monster out of your deck. Then I'm playing the 1 Berserker of Tenyi. If I had a Boroload or Boral, whatever the synchro is called, I would play that, but I don't have $100 to throw on it. So I'm playing with this, and this card's actually really cool. A lot of people have never even heard of this card. It's generic. It can attack twice if it destroys a monster, and then it can attack another monster. And it can also negate effects and banish cards, which is pretty cool. Then, or actually it doesn't negate effect. It just banishes the card. Yeah, I'm sorry. It banishes a card. And then Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus. This is for getting rid of the Nibiru token, because a lot of the times it's just so big you can't get rid of it besides this. And then Borosaur Dragon, because you can make it like with your tokens. You link it off into one of these guys, and then it just makes the right level, so you can just OTK sometimes. Yeah, guys, that's it for the deck profile. This is something that you know, is a little, probably you haven't seen it ever before, unless if you played back then. But this is like like I said before, this is my favorite deck, and I always like trying to build it again. And this version has been doing pretty well for me. It's not like gonna win you nationals top or anything like that. It's probably just something to take to locals, have fun, you know, win a couple of games, maybe end up top 8 in or top 4 in the locals. But since we don't have locals and stuff right now, it's just something that I play for fun online. Just, you know, going back to the glory days, and it's always cool when you pull off the OTK and a lot of people don't see it coming and they're like, man, what the heck was that? But yeah, guys, anyways, this is your boy Ivan, and I'll see you guys later.